One of the foods we probably look forward to more in Northern California than any other would be crab season. First crabs that we see are usually a little bit before Thanksgiving, which just happens to coincide with about the time that we're releasing our Chardonnay.
We night harvest all the fruit, so it comes in really cold, really fresh, and in perfect condition. And then we whole cluster press. If you did it any other way, you could lose some of the acidity, so that's why we're really proponents of whole cluster pressing. We do about 85% of our Chardonnay is barrel fermented. And then the balance is fermented in tanks. So we get the added benefit of toasty creaminess of barrel fermentation and the tank fermentation, which retains a lot of the fresh fruitiness of the Chardonnay.
I encourage you to buy live crabs. If you're buying them already cooked, you have no idea when they're cooked, and they may be sitting in a shell for a while. They lose moisture and they're not as good. Boil them in a lot of boiling water, and usually you want that water to be almost as salty as seawater. If there's not much salt in the water, it means that the flavor is going to be leached out of the crab into your water. They're going to take you about 15 minutes. Put them in ice water to stop from cooking. Break off all the legs, and then with the body, you want to grab the back of it and separate them out like that. And a lot of times there's a lot of juice in there. Some people eat what they call the crab butter inside. I happen to be one of those people on occasion. If you do, it also can be where toxins accumulate. So it's probably not something you want to do on a regular basis, but can be very tasty. Pull off the gills, or what some people call a dead man's fingers. And with the body, you want to pull off this skirt that's on the bottom. Crack it in half. Usually you're going to rinse this. And then usually, depending upon the size of the crab, break it into 2 or 3 pieces on each side. And then with the legs, all you want to do when you're having friends and family over is just to make their lives a little bit easier, is just to crack the shells a little bit. Today we actually want to shell all the meat. When Dungeness crab is in season is also about the time that when many of your winter vegetables, your things like broccoli and cauliflower and root vegetables are also at their peak. So I think they'll also complement each other nicely. You want a casserole dish that's nice and wide like this one. I don't want to break the pieces up into too small. And you don't want to crowd the pan too much. You want to have enough surface area so that they begin to caramelize. We're going to use breadcrumbs, but I prefer that you make your own from scratch. The breadcrumbs you buy in the grocery store more often than not are ground really, really fine. The reason that we're going to add breadcrumbs to this particular dish is actually to give it some texture, some crunch. You don't want to just let it run. You want to actually pulse it. Quite often you'll see this technique employed in southern Italy. They'll actually use this as a topping for a lot of their pasta dishes. It sort of takes the place of Parmesan or grated cheese would in a dish. Adds a little bit of contrast to the pasta dish, and then also sort of wakes your taste buds up by the crunchiness of it. What the Italians would call gremolata. It helps to wake a dish up. You could serve this as a sort of an accompaniment to a salad very easily. You could also have it with a couple other small salads. The other thing I think would be nice is to take this, and it's a little bit more involved, but to sear off a piece of fish and serve this underneath the fish. And I suggest a little squeeze of lemon. Enjoy.
Oh, beautiful. That is very, very nice.
And crab when it's in season, and you invite friends and family over, and you know, have it with a glass of our Chardonnay is just one of those things that I think makes living in this part of the country really special.
No, I think it's a lovely compliment. The crab is so fresh, and the cauliflower has such wonderful texture, and it really brings out the richness in the wine and the fresh acidity, and it just goes together very, very well.